Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. We're going to spend the final half hour of the show talking about the Dallas Margarita Society. My guest right now, Kevin Dahlberg, a friend of the show. Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Hey, Jeff.
And Richard Whitman. They're both part of the Dallas Margarita Society. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you, Jeff.
Awesome. Okay, so I think this history is fascinating. Kevin, you want to start? How did the Dallas Margarita Society begin?
Well, it's interesting. It started as a bunch of guys in the 70s that wanted to meet girls, and they figured, well, rather than running around and going to the bars and restaurants and meeting these girls and trying to set up a date, they said, what if we threw a party and invited all the girls to come see us? And so they did. They made up invitations about the size of a business card and went around to all the different areas and passed them out to all the girls they could find. And so they're thinking that it was going to be a small get-together, and they said, well, what do we do for this party? And the cheapest way to do that was figured let's serve margaritas, get a margarita machine. That works out. So they had a mariachi band, and I had Mexican wedding shirts or whatever, and they were actually in a hotel. I think it was a Holiday Inn across from North Park at the time, across 75 and North Park. Mm-hmm. And the first gathering or whatever stopped traffic on 75 both directions. Had to show up with the police officers and direct traffic. Everything else, a huge success. Wow. Next year, they said, "Let's do this again. This is great." And lots of gals showed up. Lots of guys showed up to be with the gals, and so let's do it again. And they said, "Well, we ask for a donation at the door." Raised a lot of money, and they said, well, what do we do with all this money? And one of the members, his daughter had a disease of some sort. I don't remember exactly which charity they gave to. But they said, why don't we donate all this money to charity? And thus started the Dallas Margarity Society. The year after or so, they decided to formalize it, became a 501c3. And to this day, this is the 40th annual Margarita Ball coming up this year. Formalized it in a 501c3, which is Dallas Children's Charities. Mm-hmm. All the monies we raise go to children and children's charities in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Raise about $1 million a year in in-kind donations and toys and services and volunteers, and so that's how it started.
I think that's amazing. Richard, let's get you involved. What do you attribute the success of this movement? I mean, it's very rare that a nonprofit or a charity takes off the way Dallas Margarita Society has. What do you think the secret is?
I think it's a combination of things. First of all, I think it's a group of people that really like to have a good time. You say Margarita Society, we were talking to folks out in the hall. We mentioned Margarita Society, and it's like instantly, ooh, yes. What's that? And how do I get involved? I moved here myself to Dallas in 1996, and that's how I heard about it. I was like, ooh, I got to learn more about this Margarita Society. I went and met a bunch of great people, both the guys that were directors, the ladies, their wives, friends, just a great group of people that love to have a really good time. But what was even more appealing was they were having a good time doing something that they believed in and doing something that was giving back to the community. Yes. And I think that's what energizes it, and that's what energizes us and our volunteers. I've been involved with other organizations. You struggle to find volunteers. Mm-hmm. We have to turn away. We have anywhere between 300 and 500 people that'll sign up to volunteer just for the ball. And, we can only use, a few hundred of them, but, they want to be a part of that. And, myself included, I started out volunteering for events after going to the ball and went to happy hours and helped load toys and things like that. And, here I am, 15 so years later, maybe more than that. And
no, that's awesome. Well, let's talk about where the money goes. Do you support a number of different children's charities, or how does that work?
Yes, yeah, Jeff. Again, like I mentioned, a great group of people that do a lot of good for the community. This year, we'll support about 60 different nonprofit agencies and partnerships. We have partnerships with the Dallas Police Department through the Kids and Cops program, community outreach services, and things of that nature. We have a number of technology initiatives. We provide laptops for children that are in long-term care through our partners at Children's Medical Center. We just completed a 35-seat computer learning center at the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center in downtown Dallas. Wow. In all, we'll impact the community by about $1 million a year, and this year we will reach approximately 200,000 children in our communities through the charitable efforts of our associates and supporters.
That's amazing. Kevin, how did you first get involved?
Actually, I was single and volunteered for another group that used to be around. I think it's Singles Charity or something
Sure,
like that.
sure.
And so long ago, I can't remember. But I volunteered to be auctioned off as a bachelor.
Okay.
And just to raise money for kids. I heard it was good for kids, and someone asked me to do it, and I said, "Well,
How much did you go for that night? I mean, you can't just throw that out.
Yeah,
I think I remember that.
Anyway, I think it's about $1,500 for the.
I didn't bid.
To go. So I picked something I love to do, going out to a ranch, and doing
Really?
a Western experience, and it was the weekend for the country girl at heart type thing, and so doing things you never know who you're going to find.
Can I tell an
them.
embarrassing story on myself? So I volunteered to do Bras for a Cause last night, and so I'm dressed up as a woman, and they're auctioning off these guys, and so right before I go up on stage, I whisper to my wife, I said, "You need to bid on me. Like, if nobody else bids on me, I got to have somebody bid on me." And she says, "Well, how much do you want me to spend on you?" And I said, "Well, don't go over 300. And she said, "Okay, I got it." So they start bidding. They start to bid at 200, and she says yes. And nobody else bids. And she's trying to up the bid. She's saying 300. So she's trying to give more, right? And the guy won't take her bid. And so I ended up going for $200 to my wife, and went out in the hallway and put it on my credit card. Is that kind of humiliating? I don't know.
The plant.
So I think my bachelor status is just questioned at this point.
I had heard I was going up against flights to California for dinner and all kinds of stuff. I can't compete with that. So I picked something going at the ranch and horseback riding and then fishing and that kind of stuff. And surprisingly enough, it was the high bid for the night. So it was a lot of fun. So,
well, do you still get now with the Margarita Society? Do you still do the bachelor auction?
That was actually another charity.
Oh,
and so
okay.
the story goes that one of the directors came and I was helping in my tux load boxes of stuff after the deal. And I said, well, you should talk to us about the Dallas Margarita Society because this sounds like you love children and would like to get involved. He followed up with me several times, and I thought, well, if this is just a social organization, really, dance card's kind of full, and I'm busy. But if you really give to children and you really care about children, that's the part that's missing in my life. I really want to get back. So
I bet you'd look good in a bra. Next year.
You're taking note of this, right?
This is taking a hard right turn. So. Anyway, so I went and met with the guys, and I figured these guys would be like, the guy at the Barfly guys or whatever it is, running around, Dallas Margarita Society, meeting gals and that kind of stuff. And I've been to the Margarita Ball, a lot of fun, and it turned out they were real guys. They had real families. They were really concerned of every walk of life and every vocation, and so I really was interested. And so I got involved, and been involved for about 17 years or so, give or take. Now I'm a director emeritus. But it really is a passion for children. We are all volunteers. There are no salaries, no storefronts, no car allowances. So really the money we collect goes to kids. And so it's not a job per se. And these guys, Richard's a VP of charity this year and has been for a couple of years. But we give our heart and soul to this organization and for what we do. And so it's amazing that it's started up with a grassroots organization, and now we've this is our 40th annual ball, as well as we do other things throughout the year. We do a golf classic, and we do happy hours and fundraisers and that kind of thing. And so we balanced what we do with having a great time, but also keeping in mind that the charity and the end user is the children of our community.
Outstanding. Kevin Dahlberg and Richard Whitman with the Dallas Margarita Society. It's dallasmargaritasociety.org. We'll be right back with more on what you can expect in the ball this year.
This is the Jeff Crilley Show on Talk Radio 1190 AM.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. Kevin Dahlberg, Richard Whitman, my guests from the Dallas Margarita Society. Guys, let's talk specifics. The website is dallasmargaritasociety.org, and you still have tables and seats available. Is that right?
Well, the ball is an invitation-only black tie event.
Okay.
There are the admission to the ball. You is come to some happy hours, meet some directors, volunteer for events. If you visit either our Facebook page at Dallas Margarita Society or our website, you can find opportunities to volunteer and become involved. And then that's how you obtain invitations to the ball.
You also become a sponsor as well. So
to become sponsors or otherwise get involved. Yeah, you're right. We accept sponsorships.
Well, let's talk about that because I think that's interesting that you keep it somewhat closed. You don't just throw it open to the general public like a lot of organizations do. That's by design.
It's always been that way, and so we've always struggled with, well, do we charge for admission or not, and whatever. And we've kept it traditional from that standpoint. It's always been an invitation only event.
Old school.
Old school, and just like the guest earlier. And I think it's worked really well, and we've tried to control the numbers to keep it down to a manageable number. We're down at the Sheraton. We sold out for the first time earlier than ever before. 1,800 rooms, I believe it is, down at the Sheraton. They're now sold out. And we're at the convention center next door. We literally take up the entire convention center. When I say that, we utilize every square inch of that convention center. So we literally have downstairs. We have a DJ. We fly him in from Las Vegas, and kind of like Pure in Las Vegas, a DJ, kind of a club atmosphere. Outside of that, we have a casino. We have probably one of the best silent auctions I found in the country, and I've been to all over the place. And we have a band outside there. Then the main floor, we have a band in the foyer. We have 2 bands that rotate in the main ballroom. And then upstairs, we have 2 other venues or whatever. So it's kind of like a Six Flags for adults, if you will. So you come to the ball and you find your venue and the song type or music type that you like, shopping, do a little gambling, that kind of stuff. All that money goes back to charity. And so it's a lot of fun. And it's just, like I said, I don't know, it's a playground for adults, I guess.
And let me touch on this. Kevin mentioned, keeping to a reasonable number of people. I will let you know, being the largest invitation-only annual black tie charity event in the world, we do expect approximately 12,000 to 13,000 people in attendance this year. So it's a large crowd.
That's amazing to me because, you think about big events in Dallas and you think about like the Mary Kay Convention will sell out entire hotels, but you don't really hear that with a like a one-night event.
Mm-hmm.
So you sell out an entire hotel, the Sheraton, and then a neighboring hotel as well?
Yeah, the Sheraton, I think, it joins with the Marriott across the street, and those both will usually fill up pretty quick.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so the experience for somebody who wants to get involved, they're listening to this show and they say, man, I want to get one of those invitations. It's a high-class affair, but it's fun. How would you describe it, Kevin, to someone who's never been there before?
Well, actually, you can go on our website and find out where we have upcoming happy hours where you can meet. It's invitation only, so you have to know a director, a member, or director emeritus to give an invitation. You bring an unwrapped toy for a child, and so from that point on, then the party is on us. And so it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of people watching going on. I'll say that. But there's all kinds of different bands, different things you can do. There's pictures that you can take and then do some shopping. And so I would start early if I had a recommendation. A lot of people wait till later and go fashionably late, and it gets kind of crowded towards the end of the evening. But go early, find your venue, find where you want to be, and that way you enjoy the whole evening. So it's not just that. And of course, we have some after parties that go out throughout the
Is
morning.
the smart way to experience it to rent a room and just not have to worry about driving?
We always recommend, if you can, get a room at the hotel or one of the neighboring hotels. It does go for a long time, into the night, and you'll do a lot of walking, you'll do a lot of dancing. It's a really good time, and like Kevin said, it's a lot of great people watching. A lot of great activities. I think I get half my Christmas shopping list done every year at the silent auction. The dance floor is huge, and it moves with the crowd. It's got something else when you're on a dance floor that's moving up and down to the crowds. It's just a really, really good time. It's very exciting. It's probably one of the most. There's enough to do for everybody. There's country music, there's disco music, there's rock and roll, there's DJs, there's dancing. There are shows. We've had aerial acrobatic shows and things like that. Artist shows that we have a number of artists that'll be on hand, and sometimes they'll do live artwork there, as a presentation. So there are some really fantastic things that go on, at the ball every year. And of course, the most impressive thing, like Kevin said, admission to the ball is an unwrapped toy, and we look for toys valued at $35 or more. And when you see that mountain of start out small and grow to 10 to 12,000 toys, which reach to the top of the ballroom. Wow. It's very exciting, and it'll really move you when you see that you're going to see that kind of tangible impact to the kids.
And it has a Christmas theme to it. We're kicking off the season, so you basically have a little bit of a Christmas edge to it. So you basically you're there in that holiday season, kind of getting in the rhythm of things, and you're collecting toys. These toys will go to charities throughout Dallas, which come and pick these toys up for their kids. And it's really, really meaningful. And I've had people say, man, the ball was great. I had such a great time. But, the most impactful part of the evening was seeing that huge amount of toys up there, realizing I'm having a good time, but I'm doing something special for children in our area, and it was fun doing it. So that's the whole idea behind it. I will tell just a real quick note for all the girls that are coming, make sure you bring some flats. I guess the girls have these little flats they roll up or whatever, put in their purse, whatever, because if you're going to be on your heels all night in a ball gown or whatever it might be, you want to be comfortable and your feet are going to hurt. So,
and the idea is it's so big that you really just don't have one place where the band is playing. You have multiple rooms with multiple bands.
That's right.
We have 8 different music venues going on throughout the night.
Yeah, the event encompasses 3 floors of the Sheridan's Conference Center next to, which is right next door to the main hotel. 3 floors, and in each floor in the various ballrooms there will be different acts, different entertainment. I believe I think we may even have a sports bar. I think one year we did a James Bond club. So there are different themes, there are different things going on. Last year I believe the big TCU Oklahoma game or something was going on in the sports bar upstairs. So there was like, where are all the guys from the ball? Well, they're upstairs watching the TCU game. So I don't know if we'll do a sports bar again, but we'll see.
Kevin, what's one of your favorite memories from the ball over the years? Do you have anything that stands out?
I think it's just enjoying something about being there and hosting an event of this size, and knowing that our guys, that the ball chairman, I have to tell you that literally we've had guys lose their jobs because they focus so much time on the ball and away from their jobs, but they do spend an enormous amount of time. And what's amazing about the fact that these guys can pass down a book, so generation to generation, if you will, or ball chairman to ball chairman, going over everything we learned that year, all the connections, all the contracts, everything else. And then that way we improve it every year. We try to improve every single year, find snags, find difficulties, or whatever. But there's not one element that shines. There are different elements. We had a margarita-colored Lamborghini one year. It was on
that's
auction.
Cool.
We've had the aerobatics a couple years.
How about the original founders? So this is the spring of 1977, according to the website. Are the founders still active?
Yes, they are. In fact, we have a program where we have members, which are aspiring new directors. We only have 36 directors by mandate, and they're working hard to prove themselves so they can become directors when we have a seat available. And then we also have an emeritus group where the directors can move over if they're busy later in life. They want to turn it over to some of the younger guys, some new blood. And so we can still be active. And so what's amazing about this is we still have the founders that are actually active in the program, showing up to board meetings,
That's cool.
coming to the ball, coming to some of the happy hours. And so these guys are been involved. It's something I'll be involved in. I tell people they'll be rolling me in a gurney someday. But my entire life I'll be involved with Dallas Margarita Society because of the passion of what we do, because of what we can accomplish, and because it's fun and we enjoy the camaraderie of working together with the guys. Mm-hmm.
We got about 5 minutes left. Let's talk about some of the other events that happen throughout the year. So golf tournaments is something else you guys do?
Yeah, we have a number of events. I'd say every few months we'll have a happy hour or some other type of social event. We also one of our bigger events in conjunction with the Margarita Ball is one of our larger charity partners is Love for Kids. Mm-hmm. And we work with Love for Kids, who hosts a Christmas party every year at the Circle R Ranch. It's usually a couple weeks after the ball. And that's where I'd say maybe 3,000 of the toys that are collected are distributed to children. So the children come in from various agencies. We'll have about 2,400 to 3,000 children come to the Circle R Ranch. They get to meet Santa. They get to ride horses. They get to participate in all these fantastic activities. And then each kid receives a toy. Children may receive coats or other things depending on their need. That's fantastic. The golf tournament, the Golf Classic every year is in June. That raises a lot of money for our programs. Again, if you take a look at the website, we try different things each year. We've done things from whirly ball to, I don't know, what are some of the other?
Well, it's interesting because we try to not to take money away from, obviously, the children. So we have dues we pay in, and those are our social dues. So we do things as a group with each other that we pay for. as well as work hard for raising money for kids and enjoy that as well. So it's a good mix. We've been able to keep that mix going and keep the organization alive. We have about 120 plus folks that are involved right now as part of the members, directors, or director emeritus. And it's an amazing mix then that keeps on.
And you're always looking for sponsors. Who are some of the larger sponsors that you have each year? Do you have
Certainly. I mean, of course, the Dallas Sheraton is probably one of our largest. Republic Beverage. There are a number of large sponsors. If you visit our website, you can kind of take a look at who our primary sponsors are. Also, there's information out there if you or your company or organization would like to become a sponsor, and you can see there the different benefits that go along with different levels of sponsorships, which include invitations to the ball, other benefits and things of that nature. And of course, you get to see where the money goes. So
absolutely
fantastic.
So, Kevin, if somebody's listening to this, your encouragement would be just show up, go to one of the happy hours, and just kind of get involved.
Yeah, we're getting close to the ball here at November 19th, Saturday, and coming up to Saturday before Thanksgiving. So I would go to the website. I would see what kind of happy hours, what events we have between now and then. Go and try to talk to some of the directors, director emeritus, the guys that are wearing the pins with the margaritas on them. Talk to them about that, and hopefully they'll have some invitations still available. But this is they do I think D Magazine and some of the other magazines write this up as one of the things to do in November, and definitely one of the parties to go to. I would tell you that we have a mix of young people as well as the older crowd that comes, and I'd encourage everybody to show up early and make an entire evening of it. And
do you find when you travel the country and you tell them that you're with the Dallas Margarita Society, is it famous? I mean, do people know it?
I'm surprised when I mention to people about the Margarita Ball or Margarita Society, how many of them have heard of it. Yeah. I've been at faraway places, and you mentioned the Dallas Margarita Ball. Oh, I've always wanted to go to that. So I guess that's a good thing. We've made a reputation out there, right?
Do you find when it's this large, does it still have a feeling of a large event can sometimes be overwhelming? What's the experience for the first time? Is it something that a person is not going to feel like lost?
I remember my first ball, and his most memorable one. Maybe he couldn't remember. My most memorable was the very first one I went to. When you see the scale and the scope of this, so you're right. I will tell you this: if you tell a friend to meet you by the bathroom, you probably won't find them because they're you need a little more specifics. So it can be daunting, but again, it's such a good time, and there's so many different things to do. Everyone's welcoming and having a great time.
Outstanding. Kevin Dahlberg, Richard Whitman, the Dallas Margarita Society, the website again, dallasmargaritasociety.org. Thanks,
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
We'll see you next week.